Alright, so, let's get started again. I'm Ben St. Pierre. ScreenDrop is pretty much 100% my invention here. And it's probably has the least buttons of any software you're going to see nowadays. These are the only buttons, pretty much. And the problem I'm trying to solve right here is, what do you do when you've got, let's say, Grandma on the phone, and she really doesn't know how to fix something on her computer? You could be on there for hours trying to figure out, what is she looking at? The start button should not be there. I don't know what's going on here. So what I try to do is just get the simplest way to drop in ScreenDrop and see what's happening. So, start that. Just go to the website, demo.screendrop.com. Share my desktop. That gives you a unique key. This is a 6-digit key, which doesn't have any zeros, L, 1, or O's, which I can tell you from working in tech support. really can cause more headache than you think. On my, I actually have it set up with 2 monitors here. So on my other computer, I would need to go view a desktop. It's a bit backwards. And just move the browser over. I'll just move these around. My other desktop, I'm just going to type in that key I was given. So you say, hey Grandma, type in M278M. Connect. And I'm seeing this is desktop. So when you really need to see what the heck's going on, this kind of technology could really be a lifesaver. As you can see, it's not ridiculously high speed, but it is enough that when it is in real time enough that you can go in and you can change your printer settings, or you can troubleshoot a product and really just get to the root cause of what's going on. As you can see, it's running entirely in a browser. All of the client code exists within pure Java code. It is a 20 kilobyte jar file, so you're going to get this on a high-speed connection. When that page is going to load in about 3 seconds. And you're going to hit one button, and you're going to go view a desktop, and the other person is going to be able to see what's going on. And just to give you an idea of the speed, I'll just pop open, see how it loads up. It only changes parts of the desktop which it actually changed. So when I go and move one icon down, move the icon down, you'll see it only changes that one part. So that's a way of saving bandwidth and speeding things up, especially for a slower connection. There are lots of application sharing programs out there. From having worked in tech support, I can tell you this would have been a lifesaver. Really just no frills, no gimmicks, one button and you're in. I do have the ability in the code, if I need to add passwords, so you could have, ScreenDrop.Microsoft.com or MicrosoftTechSupport.com, and then somebody could drop in there, and your operators would be waiting, and they would just give the customer 5-6-digit key, and drop in and see what's going on. So, really, it's the quickest possible way to show what you're seeing on your desktop right now. It's kind of the telephone approach to screen sharing. One button, kind of like your phone number for application sharing. So what I'm looking for would be mostly if anybody else has worked within support organizations, within management, or if anybody has development experience. Right now, one of the big challenges I have is because everything's going over HTTP, it's a little bit slower because each one of those tiles is going to be its own separate request to the server. So it is fairly early stage. I am putting it up on ScreenDrop.com as a free demo. If it runs out of bandwidth on the server, it'll have a sorry page. But I'm going to give it away for now for free to just whoever wants to try it out. And they can send me a comment to my email, which I'll be posting up tonight after the demo camp on ScreenDrop.com. So that's pretty much it. It's just really one button. You're in, and oh yes, one other thing, I will be adding the ability to move your mouse so the person who's helping you could take control, which is quite useful. So. I'm seeing this as being useful for tech support. You get a personal edition. I might do one that only allows one person to one person and is peer-to-peer, which would be free forever. And then if you want to have the ability of having more than one person in this room, you'll need to buy the higher version. In fact, if you're on your laptop right now and you went to ScreenDrop.com and typed in the code, assuming you have Java and Norton doesn't block it or something, if you type in that code, you would be seeing that as well. So I can give you the code if you'd like. So it's, do you want to try it out?
We have another demo, which we might crash against.
Anyway,
he resides inside of Microsoft Vista.
Oh, okay. So if anybody wants it, you can try it out on ScreenDrop.com, and I guess I'm pretty much open for questions now.
Okay.
So, Ben, are you doing is it direction traffic through your server, or is it doing a peer-to-peer connection?
It's going, right now it's going through a server which is running Sun Microsystems Glassfish server. So everything, right now it's one HTTP request per upload of an image tile, and one with a tiled image, and one for download. I do have the ability to tune that to put more than one request in, but then depending if you put too much data in one request, it can be a little bit more laggy. So I've got to find the magic number there, but it all goes through HTTP, so it'll go through proxy servers at work, assuming they don't block 480, which they wouldn't. And yeah, so it's all through non-peer-to-peer, which is why it works so quickly.
So is there any competition? Like, is there other people doing this like in web browsers sort of space, or?
Nobody's doing it with Java platform. They're all doing it with native, and the one problem with that is it's just a lot harder to support all the different platforms, because you're going to have to write a way to do it for OS 10, and you have to write a way to do it for Linux, you're going to have to write a way. There are a few things you can do when you're not writing in Java that would be nice to speed it up, but my theory is, I mean, computers are getting pretty fast, the internet's getting pretty, getting faster all the time. It does scale because it's within a web server, so it really is just going to work. I mean, there's lots of solutions out there that are fancy, but the fact is, if you can't get to the fancy solution, it's game over. So I mean, it's a bit slow, but it's easy. So there are lots of application sharing programs, but nobody doing it purely in Java and purely through an applet. So.
And then the follow-up question, for like load testing or anything like that, have you done much with that? Like how much bandwidth can support on a server?
I don't have the ability to load test a ton, but I have had 10 different sessions going on at once per server, which is quite a few, and it didn't choke. So I've had it running this server for a week straight and showing various people, and I've never had to rebuild anything.
I guess I'm just more curious in terms of like how it scale, in terms of like say you have 1,000 users or 10,000 users.
It should. I don't have the number yet for how many will fit on one server. My goal is 100 to start per server on a semi-modern server, and then because it is running through Glassfish, with a bit of tweaking, you can have more than one server working together and kind of go down.
Actually, we got your system here working.
Oh, it works.
Yeah. I have a question. So how do you compete like against go to my PC and Microsoft kernel, which is actually allows you to do remote access? And how you work out like security in the operating system itself, which allow you to not to do much with any management or remote management. There's so many security measures you have to take care of. That's why you need to use them on the PC.
Right.
What's your view on this?
Well, the nice thing about an applet is it's dead in the water, just like when you close your browser. And because it's running within the applet sandbox, it can't do, even if I wanted to, it's not going to let me write to the file system. It is set up to do that right now, but for the purpose of demonstrating. But because it is within an applet, it's very restricted in what it could do, even if I wanted to be bad and kill everybody's computer. And in terms of security, my plan was to work it in with the existing Sun Microsystems security model for Glassfish, which, because it is over HTTP, it's just using a session ID to authenticate the username and password and to say whether or not you can go into the session. I mean, it looks like a real-time kind of application, but internally it's very much, it's not that far off a standard web application. So it's, I guess, hi.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how long you've been working on this?
Well, I've been working in tech support until today. And yeah, so today, actually next Tuesday is my last day, and I'm going into being a full-time Java developer. I went to SATE's Object-Oriented Software Development course out of high school, and so this will be my third year in the industry. And I just had so many headaches trying to help people on the phone that I came up with this about 3 months ago, the idea, and this is where it stands today, just in my spare time doing it at home. And once I had the name ScreenDrop, it just seemed like I couldn't stop. It seemed like a great name.
Good work.
Yeah, good stuff. All right.
Any other questions?
Just a quick one. When I'm done wanting someone to see my screen, what do I do?
Well, I'm going to put a big red button saying stop. I haven't had time yet. However, if you close your browser, it's dead in the water.
Is that right? Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm on your browser. So I think you have the right market in terms of tech support. But at the same time, we actually have a almost identical computer UC that actually runs on Java, on Java, on the computer. And you just visit the remote API and CA, and you have an email address, and our tech support can log into a screen like that. So we're actually already just crossing out and look at that to do those exactly the same thing.
I haven't seen every single one. If you look at the list of different application training programs, they just keep going and going and going. I haven't seen anybody who does the key, which is kind of like what tinyurl.com does for quickly linking to websites. One thing I can do is host it for you, so it could really, I mean, UFC has a lot of resources for their tech support, but what if you're a small startup that needs to do a lot of tech support? You could type in maybe one day ScreenDrop to say, give us your credit card number, you'll be $40 a month, and that'll give you the ability to have up to 4 people using this at once. And it's actually quite easy in the server, code-wise, to go, limit this to only 4 operators at once. So you would sell it based on a seat, concurrent, real-time seat.
So great job, Ben. And I think one of the great things that you'll find in this community is that you have guys like King here that you can you probably set up a meeting and he can show you what the USC has. And actually that goes for everyone else in the community here. Eric's from TELUS. He could probably show you what they're using in their tech support department, and you have a bunch of entrepreneurs and a bunch of programmers, a bunch of marketing guys that can help out. So feel free to stick around for beers afterwards. Thank you for a great presentation.
Sure.